One thing I thought was effective was the way that Chris, I think on the first day I attended and watched, you kind of laid out a sort of more theoretical framework, about storytelling and that sort of thing. And I think that was nice because for me, it's, I think it's effective, and I'm just one kind of learner, but to sort of have a sort of theory laid out first and then practice later, sort of I got the big idea of the why, and then it felt to me like the course dove into some of the details of how. So it was like a theory practice kind of structure, which worked, would have been quite useful to me had I taken the whole course,
Yeah, one of the big challenges I think with any kind of media course or film video is that the technical stuff is so overwhelming potentially for people who are new. There's such a big learning curve that you can get lost in those details really fast, and you go, oh my God, as you say, I'll never learn Final Cut. Why does everything I shoot suck? Oh, this is terrible. I'm a failure.
Right.
And if you kind of go, well, those aren't really the learning objectives, which you very clearly articulated, then it's like kind of a big unclench. It's like, okay, what I'm really learning here is to be a communicator, be a storyteller, carry myself, understand this medium, and maybe someday I'll be a terrific editor, or maybe I won't. But either way,
or maybe you'll plug into the process in some other
way. In some other way, exactly. Yeah. But you have to understand the whole process.
Right.
I remember when I first proposed, because you were like, well, what do you want me to do? Because I was just like, can you be involved in this somehow? And it was sort of like, well, maybe you could cover the actual basics of shooting and everything. And you said something like, these seem like very technical things. And I was like, oh, shoot, this is terrible. I'm doing the thing that I tell people not to do. So we made a very conscious decision to take all those technical elements. We did not teach how to edit on Final Cut or anything. Instead, MIT has free Lynda licensing, and honestly, their videos teach it better than I do. I don't know Final Cut well enough to teach it, and not all the students used it. So we said for all the technical learning stuff, it was all digital blended learning. Flipped classroom. Yeah. Thank you. And class time was really about teaching big picture stuff and then workshopping specific examples and specific things they came up with.
Yeah, because time is limited and it's so daunting. I mean, to become a director, on-camera host, writer, editor, camera person, all in a few weeks, I mean, it's just not going to happen.
Just the expectation that they come out with a notion of storytelling, I think, would be sufficient. Yeah.
It really ended up being a class on pre-production. It was 2 weeks of intense scripting and planning.
Yeah.
And the rest just sort of happened literally in the last couple days. So they just had to figure out how to film.
That's great. I mean, the technical execution gets pushed to the margin, and the more creative, stuff takes precedence.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different class. There were a couple of people who dropped because they came in thinking this is going to be a class on how to make a video, and it's not exactly about that. And because there are other classes like that already exist on campus, so there's no reason for us to redo that.
And you learn that stuff by shooting your own stuff and screwing up and making it better the next time.
Yeah, but if someone's going to watch this class on OpenCourseWare, for instance, they're not necessarily going to pick up the practical skills that they might be expecting to.
Right. We don't teach you how to light. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, but a teacher who might be watching this might be like, how do I teach a video production class? And I'm not sure if this is necessarily exactly that. Sorry.
Oops.
Yeah.
But it is hopefully maybe a conceptual framework that you could then plug in production modules into. I mean,
if it were a larger course.
Yeah, it was so short. It felt like a sprint.
Yeah, what can you do? Can you accomplish in that time, really?
Yeah.
I was impressed by how ambitious it was.
It was very ambitious, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.